Hello. Welcome everyone to JLAB TV. I'm JLAB, and this is Football Manager 2021, my Youth Academy Challenge Save. Something I've been waiting for, looking forward to, and waiting for the full game to be released before starting it because I don't want to have to worry about breaking it in the beta for me. Now, this is a challenge I plan on keeping going for a very long time. I can already hear you asking, well, what's the challenge entail? What's the rules? What's the whole idea behind it? Not mine. I'm literally borrowing these ideas from people that are already doing it. And I had 5 clubs lined up for this challenge already, but I narrowed it down to just the one team that I'm going to take charge and I'm going to go forward and do this challenge with. The aim is to win my chosen country's top division and the Champions League of my continent with a previously unplayable club, using only my academy as a way to acquire new players. This means no transfers of any kind, no buying back former players, even on the free, and no loans, not even as part of a deal to sell your player. Now, because this is the rule, and because it's going to be very difficult to do, we are going to be very much restricted, and this could be an absolute slog. This is probably one of the hardest challenges you can do in a save. And the reason I have 5 different clubs is because if I get sacked by my current team, my first team, I can go forward and take charge of another team, and so on and so forth until I run out of clubs, or the game crashes, really, or I complete the challenge. One of the 3 different scenarios. We've got a lot of things that we can do, and I will say this, there's a lot of things we can go for. There are actually dates for when the season starts literally listed in this form I'm using for my idea, for the challenge, for the save. When we start the save, I'm going to literally show you this. When we start this, we will literally go ahead, go to advanced options, and we will choose the clubs that we want to use. Now, for game setup, I've already got something saved, but I'm disabling the display attribute masking. I'm preventing the use of in-game editor, and I'm not adding key staff. So that's already something. And we go to advanced, and we're adding leagues for players that should be available. So Germany, the regional Liga. For England, the 7th tier players. For Italy, Serie D. For Scotland, we had the Highland, the Lowland leagues. For Spain, we had the Spanish regional divisions. And for Holland, we had the 20 division. While we had France, the French regional 1 leagues. So there's a lot of things we can go forward and say this is going to be an interesting challenge. I've got a team chosen. I'm going to introduce you to them now. And the team that I have chosen to take over is Siena. A team that has got a lot of history behind it, but also has had a lot of troubles. In the last 7 years, they have gone bankrupt twice and have been refounded, have new reincarnations of their clubs. And if we go to their history, they've been in Serie A for a lot of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight seasons before they got relegated. They got promoted straight back up and lasted another 2 seasons. So they had 9 seasons in 10 in the Serie A, and it was actually in this period that they went bankrupt for the first time and had to reform in the 4th tier of Italian football. They got promoted back up straight away, and then they go on for 5 years before they were bankrupt again in this division. Which is a shame, but we're in a unique situation here. And I will say this is the case. We are in a unique situation because of the fact we have an opportunity to take a reincarnated club that is only a year old at this point because of their difficulties in real life, and we can take them to the very top. There are 9 playoff places in this division, which makes things interesting. There's also 4 playoff places for relegations. We are predicted to finish in 16th. Now, if we can avoid that, that'd be great. The rules for this division are simple. The team that's bottom gets relegated automatically. The team that is in the bottom 3 should get relegated. However, there could be a playoff if there are fewer than 9 points separating 17th and 18th. And if there are fewer than 9 points separating 16th and 19th. So, all we got to do to avoid being in the playoff for relegation is be 9 points clear of 19th place, and we should be good if we finish in 16th place. There is also one more rule for this challenge. You have to start with a Sunday League reputation and no coaching badges. No coaching badges whatsoever, which makes this even more difficult, and you can see why I consider this to be one of the most difficult challenges you can get out there. So, we've got our team, we've got our challenge. What do the boards expect? And also, what's our situation? Because we're the 30th of June 2021, we can't sign any players. We've got all these players currently out of contract in 8 days' time, which is very difficult in itself. And we are expected to avoid relegation and then survive in this division for the next 5 years, which is fine. We can work with that. And the fact that we are literally going to have to say, okay, we need to survive, that's a concern. We've got all these players that are currently out of contract. We're going to have to convince them all to sign new contracts. I can't promise that at all. You will be a star player for me. Yes, thank you. Here we go. £600 a week. He's being paid He cannot be registered until the 1st of the 7th. That's fine. Will he be okay with this? He wants that much. He's being paid 1.2 grand a week. I think we're good with that. A relegation release clause, 66 grand. That's fine. We don't mind. We can literally just work our way through all these players so we have them in our team. And Marco now. We got to make sure we get all of these players to stick with us until the very end. And they literally don't mind some of these small wages. So we're paying these players some pretty small money, in all honesty. And we're going to just absolutely make sure we give these guys new contracts. They're all good enough for this division. So I think that is the case, right? Yes, they're all good enough for this division so far. Most of these players. We will absolutely make sure we give these guys new contracts. I want breakthrough. He wants important, great. But we're paying him not a lot of money. So we're just going to keep going until we get going with this. They're also, they've all been given new contracts. They're very young too. And we should be good. I'm going to give him a 2-year. I doubt he will get a lot, but I'd rather have the situation under control and make sure we're here. Speaking of finances, though, and because we're talking about wages, we've got 2.6 million in the bank. We've got a wage budget of 31,000. We're currently commissioned to spend just 11,802 a week. We can't spend money, but we've got a lot to spend. So that's annoying. Our projection is pretty good too. We're apparently expected to make a profit of 2.9 million this season, which is saying a lot. And transfer budget keeps on going up and up and up. So wage budget, we can probably transfer that over to them a lot. We've got no debts. Our sponsors are pretty good. This is where all our money's come from, is our sponsors. We've got 1 year to about 5 to 7 years, 3 to 8 years left of some of these sponsorship deals. That's great. If we can do that, we can do that. Unfortunately, we've got some bad news. Our facilities are not perfect. They are pretty dire, actually. Poor training facilities, basic youth facilities, basic academy coaching, fairly basic youth recruitment, so fairly basic academy coaching, and fairly basic youth recruitment. So, well, that's an issue. Our stadium's not so much. We've got a stadium that's got 15,373, but the condition is poor, so we don't know what to expect with that. We don't know if we're going to have to worry about the stadium falling apart or stuff like that, which is not ideal. Coaches, we've got a few of them, and we've literally got a brand new canvas to play with here. And our coaches' badges and their contracts expire today. All of them. Under 20s, under 18 managers expires today. Fitness coach expires today. Goalkeeping coach expires today. Assistant manager expires today. So we're going to have to work with this and to work our way around everything and to ensure we are not in a difficult situation, because let's be honest, we could be screwed if we don't do things smart. But we've got a lot of room to grow with, to work with. I think we've got a lot of potential. At least I feel like we do. And given that we've got players, are these on loan to us? He's on loan to us. So we've got 3 players in his list that are on loan to us, which I'm very disappointed about, because I realize now, okay, we could have had some pretty decent players. This guy's in the same division as us? No, he's in the same tier, but across. Palamo didn't get promoted in the first season, which is not the worst in the world, but we've had 3 players that we could have used here. And under 20s, we don't have a lot of players. Under 18s, we barely have anyone worthwhile. So, yeah, this is going to be great. Oh, God damn it. And we've got to give everyone new contracts and to ensure we keep them with us. But there you go. Who knows? I think this could go badly or could go very well. I'm hoping it goes well, because I want to keep this going and make this a very long-term save. But anyway, I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys have actually enjoyed yourselves. Hope you guys will like and share this video. And subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out a lot. Even if the players are not fans of me because of my reputation being low. Oh, that's going to take a while to get used to, isn't it? Alright. At least most of the team are going to be sticking around for a while, eh? Oh dear. This could be a challenge. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Hope I'll see you again. And until next time, goodbye and well, good night.